What's the practical use of jujitsu? Jiu-jitsu.
Well, if you and I were in a fight, I would kill you.
How much can you know about yourself if you've never been in a fight? That's a quote from my favorite movie character of all time, an imaginary friend, Tyler Durden.
Never been in a fight, you?
No, but that's a good thing.
No, it is not. How much can you know about yourself if you've never been in a fight?
Now, have I ever been in a fight? No. But I don't care what anybody says, I know I could fight. I mean, look at me, I work out 5 days a week, I'm fucking jacked. I could kick a dude's ass no problem if I had to, easy. I mean, I'm a fucking man, of course I could fight. It's how I used to think. Before I started doing jujitsu. Now, for some reason, people who've never heard of jujitsu always assume it's some sick kind of martial art like karate, where you're doing kicks and shit, or at least that's what happens when I tell girls. They'd be like, ooh, you do jujitsu, so you're like a fighter? But they wouldn't react like that if they knew just how gay it really was. I mean, don't get me wrong, on one hand, you're literally trying to violently take your opponent down and choke them unconscious. But brother, any sport where you can have another man in the fuck me daddy position, and this is considered totally normal, is a bit odd. Anyway, this is the kind of shit I used to make fun of jujitsu for before I started doing it. But I used to hear that bald guy with the podcast that I showed in the beginning. What's his name? Dana White?
I want to oil you up. What the fuck does that mean?
Just rave on and on about how beneficial it was. And my best friend who had been doing it for years would always tell me to come down to the gym and try it. But I used to tell him like, bro, I see what y'all be doing. The last thing I want to do with my time is roll around with sweaty old men in robes in some weird culty karate dojo. Like, bro, if you're into that kind of stuff, that's fine, but that's just not my thing. And it kind of screams Diddy Party. And plus, like I said, the biggest reason I didn't want to do it is because I already know that I could fight. I don't have to come down to your weird karate dojo to prove it. Man, I'm not gonna lie, deep down, the fact that I've never proved it to myself that I could fight because I've never been in one, it was just doing something weird to my ego. I don't know, man, call it toxic if you want, but that uncertainty of not knowing how I'd stand in a fight, in a physical altercation with another dude, it always bothered me as a man. Because I live with 2 women, right? So if some shit goes down, I'm meant to be the protector. And not knowing for a fact that I would be able to protect, it just didn't sit right with me. Plus, I take Tyler Durden's word very highly. So, I caved. I had to come down to that dojo and try it out. I had to know how much I really knew about myself. I mark my first day of jiu-jitsu as the day my ego died. Because once I walked through the doors of that gym, I learned my first lesson of fighting. Looks are deceiving. One of these dudes would fucking ruin the other one's day, and it's not the one that you think. Because I walked into that dojo to by far the weirdest group of human beings I've ever been in a room with in my life. See, it's a mix of like big ass ex-military dudes with tats, but for the most part, and when I say this, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but this is just the best way I could describe it. It was a room full of geeks, okay? I'm sorry. Dudes that look like they would be good at literally anything but fighting. You know, maybe the dude that you would call to come and fix your computer. You know, a lot of like substitute math teacher looking dudes. Dudes that I would see in a bar and be like, wow, I can take that twerp. So I walk in and think, wow, this is gonna be easier than I thought. I mean, why did I even come here? I'm gonna kick these dudes' ass. So now they give me this weird gi, tell me to change into it. I feel like I'm in Bohemian Grove or some shit. And now the sensei is matching us up with partners to train with. And he matches me up with a girl. So I'm like, what the fuck? Cause remember, I came here to get into my first fight, right? To test my skills, but I'm not gonna fight a girl, right? I'm not Chris Brown, I'm not John Jones. I don't do that. This girl's what, 120 pounds? Dude, I can strict curl that shit. What's gonna happen when that bell rings and we start fighting is I'm gonna take it easy on her because I'm a nice guy. Oh yeah, but this girl's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, which I didn't know what the fuck that meant at the time. I'm just like, okay, she's a girl. She's wearing a purple belt. That's a cute little belt. But now I know that means she has been training jiu-jitsu for a good like maybe 6, 7, 8 years. So she probably saw the fucking day 1 trial class kid taking it easy on her and took offense to it. Rightfully so. So we start fighting. She shoots a cute little takedown, right? Grabs hold of my legs. I kind of just fall and go with it, right? Whoa. Then, it couldn't have been more than maybe 6 seconds later. She's fucking climbing on top of me with her arm around my neck, and now the lights are starting to go dim. And I'm trying to fight the choke. I don't want her to beat me, but I couldn't. So I tap out. Bro, one more second, she would have sent me to a Pop Smoke concert. Bro, I didn't even last 2 minutes with this girl. Now look, I'm not gonna hold you. It's not the first time I only lasted 2 minutes with a girl, right? But usually, when that kind of stuff happens, I don't get embarrassed. But this time, I was. I really, really, really was. And for the rest of the time I was going with her, she's effortlessly beating me. I mean, she's not even trying. And remember, I'm the grown man here. She's a small woman. And there was a point where she literally let me put her in a triangle choke. She wanted me to finish it, and I couldn't, and she was trying to help me. Now listen, again, not the first time I couldn't finish a girl, right? I'm not gonna lie. But fuck, this shit discouraged me, man. So the round ends. And I usually contain my emotions pretty well, but bro, I never experienced something like that. Another human being, let alone a girl, just beat me up so effortlessly. And fuck, for that reason alone from that day on, I never stopped training, man. But the next couple months of me starting jiu-jitsu, I'm not even exaggerating, we're living hell. I'm getting my ass beat by literally everybody in that place. The fathers that just use that shit for cardio after work, the 16-year-old kids that have been training for years, and I'm getting beat in the most embarrassing ways possible. I mean, dudes are just trying shit on me. I mean, the most foul submissions being hit on me that you can think of. I'm being used as dudes' rest rounds. If a dude just had a hard round and wants to rest, they train with me. Every time I walked through the doors of that gym, it was like a damn humiliation ritual, man. And as a white belt, you'll hear the most backhanded compliments imaginable. After we're done training, dudes will be like, oh, you know, bro, you're not even that bad for a white belt. Like, oh yeah, thanks, bro. That's like saying you're not that dumb for a dumbass. And yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm being hurt physically, but
The worst part of being hurt is mentally.
like I swear, and I'm not scared to admit it, a lot of times I'd get home from training and I just want to cry. It's disheartening as a man being beat up that bad every day and not being able to do anything in return. I mean, I feel like a little bitch. And not only is my spirit getting destroyed, but so is my body. See, I'm somebody who takes a lot of pride in the way that I look, right? I don't know, maybe I'm ugly as fuck, but I like the way that I look. You know, I've always had clear skin and shit. I like that about myself. And that's something about myself that I would fall back on a lot of times in my life. You know, some shit's going wrong in my life, a girl leaves me, whatever. I would fall back on, at least I'm good looking, right? But since starting jiu-jitsu, I'm getting beat black, blue, and purple. I'm getting black eyes every other week, scratches all over my face, my fucking lips split open. And the best part is, ready? I'm paying money for this. I look like I fell off a fucking train, man. I look horrible. And people are starting to notice. Everyone in my life's like, bro, what the fuck happened to you? What is wrong with your face? And like I said, I'm usually a confident guy. I like looking presentable. It's where I get a lot of my confidence from. And now I'm just walking around campus with my hoodie up and shit, trying to avoid having people look at me. And everybody in my life, my friends, my family, are asking me, why? Why do you keep going back? Why do you keep doing jiu-jitsu? What's the point of it? What value are you getting? And for the longest time, I didn't have an answer to that question. And like I said, I would see all these videos like, jiu-jitsu saved my life. Jiu-jitsu is so beneficial. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to start it. But man, I can't relate to any of that shit. All that's happening is that I'm getting the shit kicked out of me. But I think that's step one to growing. Because it's only after you've lost everything that you're free to do anything. That's another quote from Mr. Tyler Durden, but it's true because for me, my ego quite literally was everything. I would rely on that false sense of being a tough guy so much to feel okay with myself. And it was necessary for me to get that part of my ego destroyed to grow as a person. Because I don't walk around with a chip on my shoulder anymore thinking I'm the toughest guy in a room. And that's a fucked up mindset that way too many dudes have.
You think you beat me in a street fight?
Huh?
You think you beat me in a street fight?
And now, while I see guys trying to act overly tough like at a party or at a bar or some shit,
I've been fighting niggas my whole life. I've been knocking niggas out since high school. In front of the whole school.
while I used to be one of those dudes, now I just sit back and laugh. Cause I know that they're not fully secure with themselves. And one of the #1 ways you know that someone probably can't fight is when they're always trying to fight. Because everyone who has trained some type of martial art knows that the first rule is try everything you can to not get into a fight. Because in a fight, bad shit could happen. Somebody could have a knife, somebody could have a gun, somebody innocent can be hurt. So when someone's always acting out, you know that they probably can't fight. And also, they wouldn't be acting that way if they knew just how easily a little nerdy dude who does jiu-jitsu could really fuck them up.
And I like to break his foot with the Mikey lock here on the foot. You see?
And while I used to make friends doing degenerate shit like drinking or smoking, now I've made some of my best friends doing jiu-jitsu on the mats, beating the fuck out of each other, kicking the shit out of each other every single day, getting better at a martial art. You have a different kind of respect for somebody that you'll never have in somebody that you meet sloshed at some bar. Granted, now I'm close friends with a lot of like 40-year-old fathers, but
Fuck it.
But the downside is, All I think about is jiu-jitsu. I watch way too many videos of dudes wearing tight-ass clothes, rolling around with each other. People behind me in class looking at my laptop screen, not knowing what jiu-jitsu is, probably thinking I'm watching some really weird shit. When I hug girls, I'm thinking of fucking swimming for underhooks and shit. And I was finally seeing progress in jiu-jitsu. I finally wasn't getting brutally destroyed every single class. So what do? I sign up for a tournament. And I do pretty good, right? I get second place in a 2-man tournament. It's a never-ending cycle of being humbled. The second you think you have it all figured out, you get crushed again. It's kind of like the neighborhood hoe, bro. You can love jiu-jitsu all you want, but it ain't never gonna love you back. What I find astonishing is the overwhelming majority of people will never get their ego checked. Because they'll never start a combat sport like jiu-jitsu. They'll forever walk around in that blissful ignorance thinking that they know how to fight for no reason at all other than they hit the gym a couple times a week. Just like I used to think. And you know, maybe they'll never have to defend themselves. There's a good chance that they never will. But that off chance that they do, they'll simply be unready to defend themselves and their loved ones. And plus, like one of the greatest philosophers of our generation said, by the name of Justin Gagey, if one man can hold you down, then 2 can R-word you.
If one man can hold you down, 2 can rape you.
And if that's not enough of a reason for you to start training, then nothing is. Thanks for watching.